What up, crew? Welcome to Charged Up. I'm Keith, and it's here. It's today. It is the Electrify Expo 2025 in Seattle, and I'm here with my crew here from all of the Lucid Owners Club. Check it out. We have somewhere around 60 cars here, maybe 70 today from the event, and we're all here. Hell of an event. We got a bunch of the crew. Many thanks to Susanne Hatchigan for putting it on, and I'm going to go check out the Gravity. Let's go see what it's like. All right, so tons of music playing loudly and poorly aside. Cool show so far. There's a whole bunch of different EV demos right now. I'm personally going to go check out the Gravity, but there's also the Porsche Macan EV as well. There's a Cybertruck, but meh. So I'll show you guys what we got. All right, so we're here at the Lucid Motors booth at Electrify Expo, and we're going to go drive it in just a few minutes. But first, I want to show you the one that's here. So this one is in the Aurora Green with the Ojai interior. It's a Dream Edition, and I gotta say, it looks fantastic. You know, all my crew are loving the Ojai interior. That's what they want. Me personally, I'm getting Tahoe. But I gotta say, what's so interesting is people claim this thing looks like a minivan. They're full of it. It does not. It's because everybody in America forgot what a properly designed wagon looks like. It's low, it's sleek, it's really fantastic. There's not a single wasted line on the car. And I think that everything else on the road looks pedestrian in comparison to what this is now. So as you can tell, the booth is quite packed. They've got a ton of people here. I mean, many props to the Lucid team here, both Northwest and the Lucid Owners Club team, because it has been going great. The show's amazing. The rally this morning was fantastic. And now I'm gonna go drive this thing, and I am excited. There we go. All right. Hey everybody, welcome to Charged Up. So I got the Lucid Gravity, and oh my God, this is awesome. So this screen, I love this. This is, because I've got the portrait screen right now, but now this is in the landscape, which is way nicer. This all looks great, but what's the Squircle like? I don't know. I'm gonna find out. Let's do this. So I've always been driving with my hand on the bottom, which I love, and just being able to like really relax into it. But I gotta say, like, first impression, the seats of this are fantastic. Actually, this is nice too, because I can get to the top without issue. It's, dang. So the OLED screen is lovely. This is way more crisp than I'm used to. Right, let's see here. Ride height is standard, regen is high. What's that like? That's like perfect. Oh my God. So after 36,000 miles in my Air, I can't wait to get this because this turning radius is amazing too. So air suspension, multiple levels, everything I could possibly want in it, and we're on gravel, and this feels like, this is amazingly stable. Visibility is excellent too, better than the Air for rear visibility. Mirrors are great. I gotta say, I'm just like really impressed with driving this right now. Like, this is more comfortable and more car-like than I thought it would be. Like, I feel like, let me see if I can go even a little bit lower and see how this feels. See what that's like. Ooh, the screen's responsive as hell too. So you can also navigate with the right-hand touchpad in the infotainment now too, which a couple of my friends that have Gravities have told me is really nice. So you can get through, so you can just go through everything one after the other. So no more reaching, because that's been one of the things that the Air was difficult, was having to reach over and get to things, but completely not an issue here. Looks like you can use both the controls here to do that. Interesting. So we're on dirt right now here at Electrify Expo 2025, and I gotta say that it's a little slow, so this is not like a proper test drive, but I mean, I've driven a lot of SUVs. This is, I think, by far one of my favorites for comfort. Ooh, lumbar support. How do I get to the lumbar support on this? Or, never mind, here it is. Ooh, that's actually better lumbar support than the Air by a little bit. What about if I want to do like seat cooling? Right there.
The seat cooling will be this button.
Oh, nice. Okay. Let's see how that feels.
And then take it easy over this bump because it drops down off the curb.
Righto. Oh, automatically brought the parking sensors on. Oh, you brought them up.
Yeah.
Really nice parking sensors too. These are very crisp, good responsiveness. I think the front angle is about the same as the Air. A little laggy, but that's going to always improve, that software. Squircle's nice. So this is, so the regular Air steering wheel is larger and comes up over, but it has the flat bottom. But I got to say, one thing that I was worried about was that the flat bottom on this would not be as comfortable to use, because I'll cruise with the Air for hours with my hand just down at the bottom on it. But it has capacitive touch for Dream Drive Pro as well, which is fantastic. And so one of the issues with the Air right now, driving it on long distance, is you have to give the wheel just a little bit of torque to keep it. You have to give the wheel just a little bit of torque when you're going to make sure that, you know, it knows that you're there. But you don't have to worry about that in this, because you just have to have your hand on the wheel. And it's very easy to rest it here. And this is after, again, 36,000 miles and 3 years in my Air. This is going to be just as easy to deal with day to day, just very gradual, very easy. And with the rear wheel steering, does this one have the rear wheel steering package on it?
This one does.
Okay, so that explains that turning radius is really nimble. Go left, go left. So you have very nimble turning radius on this too. I have to say, one of the challenges with the Air is when you want to do a U-turn that is not the best, this feels much smaller than it physically is. All right, going left?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Visibility A-pillar is about the same as the Air. I know people gripe about it, but honestly, I don't really care. It's not that big of an issue. One movement. This has fundamentally the same accelerator pedal like my Air, and the regen's also very good. Oh. So it's just one of the best accelerator pedals out there, because it's always perfectly modulated. There's not a single question about what you're doing. It's exactly the right amount of pressure at any point, and there's no foot fatigue, and I have to say I'm feeling the same thing here. You have your whole foot on the pedal, and there's no fatigue whatsoever. You can have totally even pressure. Alrighty, so going to Tesla, come on. Alright, no launching. Oh, I'll get to do that later. What's nice too is that the armrest is kind of like the right position here for driving, because that's one of the things with the Air is that I'm a fairly large guy at 6'3", and I can't leave my arm in the armrest. My arm's always a little elevated up or being suspended when I'm driving, but I can just leave it here on the center armrest without much issue at all. So I think one of the things that's going to be interesting about driving this car day to day is the size of it. It's not much bigger than the Air, but it is higher, but it doesn't feel like that. Can I drop the ride height all the way down?
We can't do it while we're moving.
Okay. Gotcha. Think I can get away with it right here?
It's not going to do it.
Okay.
It's lowering, just keep in mind it is in spring mode.
No problem. I promise I will not give it the beans. Seat cooling is really nice on this. I actually feel pretty comfortable with it too, and it's pretty hot outside. We're at 90 degrees, 89 degrees outside. Yeah. And one of the things with the Air is that steering wheel is quite chonky, which I actually really love because it's very easy to grip, but this also feels just right. I think that they really nailed it, and I can see kind of everything over the top. I know CarPlay is not at launch, and I'm okay with that because the nav has gotten so good now. I tend to use it on road trips because it has good integration, but now I'm curious. I do hope we get native Apple Music at some point, and I gotta poke them about that. Wow, that guy was interesting. All right. God, I love how smooth this is. All right, lowest ride height. Let's see how it does the speed bump. Very easy.
And then we'll pull into a parking spot over here.
Okay.
This way you guys can switch.
All right. You want to park it here?
Anywhere's fine.
Alrighty. Shade. Regen is like perfectly modulated too. All right. What should we do next?
Park is just like on the Air. There you go.
All right. Interesting. I want to try the seat massage function on this too. Is it? Ah, there we go. So I use the massage functionality a lot on it, and yes, that's what I was after. So we've got that Sat nav again, like super responsive. Here we go. Let's see how that looks. Ooh, that is like butter. Look at how smooth that is. I love that. And then it's interesting, it's like in a light mode, not a dark mode, but oh well, that's another thing. So charging, it's got all the normal stuff. Ooh, got a charging graph on this. I didn't know 3.0 has that. That's nice, because that's going to be great. Like anytime I'm driving, like where am I actually going to land on this trip? That'd be great to see. Can we pull up the parking sensors? That, yeah. All right, so look at that. So it's got that. God, that is so responsive now too. So much easier to tell like where I am. Okay. Unpark and tap the direction. I didn't know this, so I can just have it like unpark automatically. I love that. I mean, I'm not going to use that, but I know my wife will absolutely love that feature. All right, where are we at? That's the wide. Oh, the wide is way better than the Air. That's really nice. It's got a great picture in view. Got that. Standard wide. Ooh, that looks good. Nice. Okay. Come back around there? All right, let's do that. I'll give me a minute there to try out the parking features on it. Visibility is really good. I gotta say, like, Air has great visibility. The A-pillar is large, but it's just not like blocking, and I can easily see around. That's one of the things with the Air when it's really low, is it makes that a little challenging sometimes. Noticing that the top of the squircle is a little funky to grab, but not like, it's just something you get used to. But it's nice, like they convinced me that by having it flattened off here, I can see the top of this without issue when I'm driving. That's really easy. Okay. I'll turn that off. Screen is super responsive too. Very silent too for the road. Light coming from the top is also not an issue, which is nice. That's been one of my issues with like a Tesla Model X, is that the light is eye-stabbing from the top. Awesome. Well, I'm really excited about getting this. I know it's going to have I'm going to have the wireless charger pads down here and everything. Got a Dream Edition, this exact spec, but a Dream Edition on order. And honestly, I am excited. I think that this is probably going to be one of the highest volume selling cars, or the highest volume seller for Lucid, but also I think it's interesting because this goes square after Range Rover. Porsche's coming to market with their Cayenne EV, but I think this is going to eat the Cayenne EV's lunch, especially because Porsche, why won't you give us one pedal driving? That's a huge miss, and I'm so disappointed by that. Seriously, as a driver, that's what we want. Let us have that. But I mean, I think this is going to do fantastic just because it's got all the mix, it's got everything, you got 3 rows, and damn, this is comfortable. And clearly getting the Tahoe is like the right choice. I was thinking of the Yosemite, but the leather in the interior, just the extra leather and the extra materials, I think is really worth it. And this turning radius, wow. Because this can do a hell of a sharp turn. Oh, never mind, you're right, thank you. I mean, got it like pivots on its axis. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you being out here with all the rest of us in the Owners Club today and bearing with us. I know you've been dealing with a lot, dude. Thank you.
I love talking about the vehicles.
Indeed. All right.
When you have them, go ahead and like and subscribe so that we can go ahead and bring you more videos, or at least maybe bring you pizza. Do you want pizza? So, thoughts on the Gravity after that drive? I was really impressed by the fit and the finish of the car. I mean, I have to say that, I mean, I have my Air here, which you can see. I've been in this now. I've got this car. I've got, let's see here, 36,000 miles on it. I've been using this thing for 3.5 years or so, and I absolutely adore it. It's the best car I've ever owned by far. This car is very well put together compared to like a lot of other vehicles on the road. Even like luxury makers like Mercedes really are going to struggle to even like come close to this. And this is for a first car from Lucid. Compared to like a Mercedes S-Class, this is actually really on par and has lasted in a way that I would have expected an S-Class to last. It's really like, it's really managed to do that. And sitting in the Gravity, I was impressed by how even more solid it feels. Like it really is, impressive. The second car from a totally new manufacturer is so well put together that when I sat in it, I had no doubt that I wanted that car. That's exactly the type of car I'm looking for as my next purchase, and will be replacing this Air. So I'm excited to get mine. But even more so, I was also impressed by just how far Lucid has come. So when I look at the interior of this car, there are certain things like the feel of the steering wheel, the way the steering works, the accelerator. These are all things that are incredibly well done, but yet they did even better on it. The accelerator pedal on an Air is by far my favorite of any car I've ever driven ever. It is perfect, as I noted in my drive video. And for the Gravity, it's the same, or actually even a little bit better. I was shocked by just how easy, there's an extra level of refinement that's in that pedal that I really was pleasantly surprised to find. And the other thing too is that it doesn't feel too tall. You know how when you sit in an SUV and you realize you're kind of like up, you're raised, but you're almost raised too far. You don't feel connected to the road. I was surprised to feel that, well, I don't feel like as low as in the Air here. Like, this is a lower car. This feels very, very in tune, very connected up to the road. I didn't feel like I was disconnected from it at all in the Gravity. I was actually very pleasantly surprised that despite the added height of the suspension and the design of the car, I didn't feel like I was really removed away. I felt like I was riding a little bit more over, surveying more of the road, but the feedback through the suspension, the steering, and everything else was so good that I didn't really lack any of that feeling of connection to the road. I'm excited to take it on a proper drive. So let's talk visibility. One of the things with visibility in the Air is, the big chonky A-pillar. I mean, it's large. It gets us this beautiful glass, though, overhead. It's actually even a smidge bigger in the Gravity, but I didn't feel like it really blocked anything. There was like one time I was turning left, and I remember looking over and going like, okay, am I going to ever have a car hiding in the spot? And the answer is no, and it's because the way they designed the windows, that the windows go down and have a little bit more room in them, a little bit more range towards the front. That means that there's never really any spot that a car is going to kind of lurk in your A-pillar that you're not going to notice it, which is another really well done design decision. So let's talk infotainment. I got to mess around with the infotainment a little bit afterwards as well. And compared to the Air, I mean, it's an absolutely fantastic leap up. The lack of CarPlay at launch, I can deal. But at the same time, it's going to be on CarPlay, and it's not going to have the restriction in terms of aspect ratio. So it's going to be larger and take over more of the screen, which is a very, very welcome thing. But you know what? I found that Lucid SatNav has been getting better and better overall. The traffic data is pretty up to date. Its routing is really good. Just my only issue is that sometimes it doesn't give me necessarily the kind of charger I want on my route, but it's really, they've resolved a lot of the issues with it. Now I'm really happy to find that, when I looked at the responsiveness of the Gravity screens, I was impressed by just how smooth they were. Again, for launch in a car. I was impressed as well by just how crisp the details were, how easy it was to manipulate. They really did a great job of getting everything kind of in its right place. I don't know if any of you knew about the changes between Lucid's 1.0 and 2.0 software. They really rearranged the main navigation screen in the Lucid Air. And one of the things was that they put the buttons in the wrong position in the car. And so that meant that you had to reach a long way. So you got kind of distracted when driving. You were like, oh, where is the thing? Where is it in here? That's not an issue now. But on the Gravity, I was surprised to find that they had done a lot of work, both with that squircle, which I'll get into in just a moment, and the placement of the screens, that the positioning felt a lot more natural and easy to get to with just kind of one arm resting on the armrest. It was very easy to manipulate things. And then being able to use the little touch pads on the steering wheel to navigate also is a very welcome change. So let's talk about the other thing, the squircle. I hate the name. But what are you going to do? As a career marketer and lifelong marketing professional, I dislike the name intensely, but there's no other better option at the moment, so someone will figure it out. The thing that I'm really impressed by with the squircle, though, is that they really did a great job of moving up the screen in the front, making it much, much easier for you to go ahead and view over the wheel. And I find that I can rest my hand on the top of the wheel. Now, right now, I tend to either have my hand on the bottom of the wheel or up top. And up top, my shoulder is kind of stretched out. My arm is way up there. It's resting. It's gripping kind of hard. With the squircle, it's in a much more relaxed position, which is a very nice change, I have to say. It made me feel a bit more comfortable, just kind of like leisurely going around. They also, I think they had more telescope on the wheel, because I was able to just rest my arm straight on the armrest and grab the bottom of the snorkel and not have to do anything. So I was like, oh, this is a very comfortable position to be in. And so I think because it has that kind of like top rung, which makes it easier to grip if you're doing anything else, it's just the right size. I do wish it were a bit thicker, because then again, I have huge hands, but c'est la vie. All right, so last thing, talking seats and the rest of the interior. I mean, damn, they're comfortable. I mean, I love my Air seats. I love the massage function. I love the seat ventilation on these. They're supremely comfortable. They're great for long road trips. I have knocked down thousands of miles driving in this car and just never really feeling like I'm fatigued from sitting in the seats. But I was very pleasantly surprised to find again that the Gravity seats were supremely comfortable. They were really nice to hang out in, and they were fairly easy to be in, which I was surprised by. Again, like the position of it, when you're kind of raised up and you think, oh, I'm kind of out of the way now, it felt a lot more relaxed, and yet they had plenty of support. Just a very pleasant surprise, just how well they had really done the interior. And that's both the seats in the front and the seats in the back. I didn't do the seats in the third row. I didn't get a chance to do that. I'm never going to sit back there. I'm sure other people have talked about it. But I think that overall I was really pleasantly surprised by the quality of the seats. The HVAC is excellent. Love those other things. They're really, really well done. So I'm excited for the Gravity. So thanks for joining. Have a good one.